This is a fun one for you, obviously. Do you think it got under Peyton's skin, what Irsay said, or would he take it with a grain of salt?
No, you know what? Those guys have been through a lot together and have a great respect for each other. And I know Peyton well enough to know that he is really dialed in on this week. And my feeling is that he has dug himself in a foxhole. He's saying that, hey, we didn't do some things well enough against Jacksonville. We had some bad center snaps, those kind of things. Let's work on what we can correct and try to just keep all the outside noise away from himself this week. It's not going to be easy, but I'm sure that's the plan.
Tony, the way I've always said it is Peyton has been the best Sunday player week in and week out I've ever seen. I've been watching the NFL since the late 60s, and he's the best player and the most valuable player on regular season that I've ever seen. The most dominant, the most efficient, no question. He has not been on that same level, and maybe it's not reasonable to be on that same level in the postseason. He's graded very harshly because he's been so dominant in the regular season. Do you think he's been looked at for the postseason fairly or unfairly?
Well, that's what you really get judged by, the playoffs. And the playoffs are different because now you've got good teams every week. Everybody's playing well at that point. And he's had some unbelievable games in the playoffs for people to say he hasn't.
No, he has. He's had some huge games. Kansas City, he threw 6 touchdown passes. He's had some very dominant games.
So I guess I've seen the whole thing. And, you see the games when we go to New England and we get shut down. And that's what
Pittsburgh, San Diego, games like that. Yep.
That's what people remember. But I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh and San Diego were just tough matchups for us in the regular season or not.
Right.
And so I look at it as he played the same most of the time, whether it's regular season or postseason. And I was there for some of those big postseason games. You mentioned Kansas City.
Yep.
Our defense is struggling, and we haven't punted all day. In the last drive, I'm saying, hey, you got to make a few first downs here, or we're not going to win this game. And he went out and ran the clock down. But that would have been a game too, where people, had we lost that game, said, oh well, Manning can't win the big ones. But he did as much as you could do on that particular day.
You were there when he won, obviously. What did it mean to him to finally get a championship?
Oh, that was huge for him and for all of us. We had been close for 3 or 4 years, had those playoff disappointments you talked about, and to have that run through, especially that year when people had kind of written us off. We started out hot. We came into December with some injuries. We weren't playing our best football, but to crank it up in the playoffs and win and then be on that big stage and know that you'd finally done it, that was huge for him and for our franchise. And
you ran it really well that day, too, which people forget. You really ran it well that day.
We did, and it was a game you were going to have to do that. They had the Bears had very, very good pass defense. It's rainy, wet conditions, and you had to protect the ball, and we did a good job. And he dialed up a great running game that day in terms of getting us in the right plays and letting our running backs create. So he did a fantastic job, and it was a great year.
The big game, biggest game of the year to this point. Denver undefeated into Indianapolis. Big emotional night for Peyton Manning. He'll be honored, obviously, there where he had so many great moments, a lot of them with Tony Dungy, who's with us now. Now they have a new star there. They're going to be connected forever because of the way things went. We watched Tony Romo really, until that one last pass, take Denver apart. He threw for 500 yards on 25 completions, 5 touchdown passes. Can Andrew Luck take Denver apart this week?
He's capable of it. They actually have as good a receivers as Dallas has, Indianapolis does. Luck is a fantastic quarterback. Now, the X factor and the difference is going to be Von Miller. Denver did not have Von Miller against Dallas. They could not create pressure, and Romo did pick them apart. Now, can Miller change that? And that's what Denver has to hope. Champ Bailey being back solidified the secondary a little bit. By Champ's own admission, he didn't play great last week, but he's got a week under his belt now. And if they can get that pass rusher, that can be the difference. But if they don't, Luck will have a field day.
Tony, I know that his old college coordinator is trying to stop him from taking so many hits and is trying to really pull in the oars a little bit, use the running game, play with a little more size, and make it easier for him physically. But I don't think they're utilizing him enough down the field. He's got such great ability to throw the ball down the field. Last year, he killed people. They're not, to me, attacking enough in these games this year. I think they need to throw the ball down the field more.
Well, they're going to have to let him create. I mean, you've got Michael Jordan, and you can't have him just be a point guard and distribute the ball and pass to everybody else. You have to let him take over games when it's necessary. And I do understand what they're doing, and they felt that Luck got sacked too much and people were able to tee off and he was taking too many hits. All that's good, but you get in a game like it's going to be on Sunday night where you're going to have to score points, and it's not going to be power running game and just bleed the clock down and kick field goals. They're going to need touchdowns, and they're going to need Luck to create.
You know, and what we've seen, I think, a little bit in the second year, Coach, is he has separated himself a little bit from all the other second-year quarterbacks. You know, everyone wondered about all of them. All of them have had some trouble. Wilson hasn't had a lot, but, you know, Kaepernick has and RG3 has. And then there's Luck. And to me, Luck was the best of the group, and I think he's starting to separate himself a little bit from the group right now.
Well, he is. He's the total package, and he's healthy. He's probably going to stay healthy because he's so big and strong. He's got a real good cast around him. Some of the young receivers, they're missing a tight end, Dwayne Allen, who got hurt earlier, who was a tremendous player.
And Fleener has got to stop dropping the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, he's dropped the ball a lot.
But he'll be better. He's a threat, and he'll catch the ball. He can catch. But Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton, they've got some firepower. But Andrew just has a presence. He understands the game. He can make plays by buying time. He's accurate. He's got everything you want, and he has commanded that team. Just knowing some of those veteran players there, they just believe that if the game is close, they're going to win it in the fourth quarter, and he's going to make a play to win it. And that's something you can't teach. I mean, some guys have that and some guys don't. He has it.